Have you ever sat alone in the quiet of your home, maybe sipping your coffee, and suddenly felt like the world has moved on without you? Like you're watching life happen from the sidelines rather than being a part of the game. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know you're not alone. Retirement is often painted as this golden chapter of life, full of peace, relaxation, and free time. And yes, it can be all of those things. But what people don't often talk about is the emptiness that can sneak in when routines change, when the phone doesn't ring as often, or when it feels like your days aren't filled with purpose the way they used to be. After decades of working, raising families, supporting others, you've given so much, and then suddenly, it can feel like no one needs you anymore. But let me tell you something. You are still needed. You are still valuable. And there are simple shifts, small but powerful changes you can make that will help you feel that truth deep in your bones again. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 simple shifts that can bring purpose back into your daily life, help you reconnect with what matters, and remind you that this chapter of life can be just as meaningful, if not more, than the ones before it. Let's start with something you might not expect, but it can change everything. The first shift is about giving yourself permission to redefine purpose. So many of us tie our value to our job titles, roles in the family, or responsibilities we carried for years. When those things change or disappear, we start to question our worth. But here's the truth. Your purpose didn't retire when you did. It just shifted. You see, purpose doesn't always look like a big job or a packed schedule. Sometimes purpose is quiet. It's found in the way you make someone smile, the wisdom you pass on, or the peace you bring to a conversation. Maybe now, your purpose is to mentor others, share your experiences, or even explore new interests you never had time for before. It could be volunteering once a week, helping a neighbor with errands, or simply being present and supportive to the people around you. You don't have to chase big titles anymore. The impact you can make now might be even deeper because it comes from a place of choice, not obligation. Start by asking yourself, what brings me joy? What makes me feel useful? Then follow that trail. It doesn't have to be flashy, it just has to feel right to you. Now let's talk about the second shift, and it's one that might surprise you. Don't wait for others to invite you in. Reach out first. This can feel awkward at first, especially if you're used to being the one who was always needed. But one of the biggest reasons people feel invisible after retirement is because their social circles quietly shrink. Friends get busy, children have their own lives, and routines change. And it's easy to think, well, if they wanted to talk to me, they would call. But here's something to consider. People may not know that you're feeling disconnected. And truthfully, they might be waiting for a sign from you. So instead of waiting for the phone to ring, pick it up yourself. Send that text. Write that email. Start a conversation. And it doesn't have to be limited to family or old friends. Now might be the perfect time to join a local walking group, take a free community class, or even try something online. There are thousands of groups and forums where people just like you are finding connection and purpose every day. The world is not closed off to you. You just have to knock on a few doors again. This is about reclaiming your space, reminding yourself that you still belong in conversations, in community, in the rhythm of life. And speaking of rhythm, let's ease into the third shift now, one that breathes life into your days in the most unexpected way. Start something that's just for you. Think back to something you used to love doing but never had time for. Was it painting? Gardening? Writing stories? Maybe it was building things in the garage or cooking elaborate meals or playing music. Retirement is your invitation to return to those parts of yourself. Not because someone else needs it, not because it serves a purpose for anyone else, but because you enjoy it. And that, in itself, is enough. You'd be amazed at how often joy leads to value. When you do something you love, people around you feel it. They're drawn to it. Maybe your grandchild will want to paint with you. Maybe a neighbor will smell your cooking and ask for a recipe. Maybe your stories will turn into something you can share or even publish. It all starts with you allowing yourself to explore without pressure or perfection. You see, this shift isn't about filling your time. It's about fueling your spirit, giving yourself permission to enjoy life not because you're busy, but because you're engaged. There's a difference. And the beautiful part, when you feel good, when you feel lit up from the inside, other people naturally begin to see your light again. It's not selfish, it's healing, it's powerful, and it creates a ripple effect, one that says, I still matter, I'm still here, and I still have something to give. So, if you've been feeling like the world has forgotten you, or that your best contributions are behind you, please hear this. They're not. There is still so much inside you that the world needs, and you have every right to take up space in it. Make these small shifts. Start with even just one, and notice how the days begin to feel fuller, how your heart feels lighter, how your voice feels stronger. You are needed. You are valued. And the world is better because you're still in it. If this message is resonating with you, if it's helping even just a little, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're building a community here where you'll always be reminded that life after 60 is not a slow fade. It's a vibrant, powerful chapter of rediscovery. Stay tuned, and let's keep walking this path together. You're not alone. So now that you've started reconnecting with what brings you joy and you're opening the door to new conversations, let's talk about something just as powerful, but often overlooked. And that's the shift from doing everything for others to doing things with others. See, during your working years or while raising a family, you probably spent decades serving others. Cooking, cleaning, solving problems, giving advice, picking up the pieces when something fell apart. You were the dependable one, the fixer, the caregiver. And while that gave you purpose, it may have also trained your mind to believe that your value comes only from what you do for people. But after retirement, those roles change. The phone calls slow down. People don't need as much from you. And suddenly, that sense of being useful starts to fade. Here's the shift. Instead of trying to be useful, try being present. There's a difference between helping someone and connecting with someone. You don't always need to offer a solution or fix anything. Sometimes, sitting across from someone with a cup of tea, sharing stories, or just listening without needing to advise, that's more valuable than any task you could complete. You are not a to-do list. You are not a fixer-upper. You're a living, breathing human with experiences, emotions, and a unique presence that matters. People don't always need your help. Sometimes they just need you, your laughter, your kindness, your memories, your wisdom. And when you start building relationships based on presence instead of performance, something beautiful happens. You stop chasing value and start feeling it. Because being needed isn't always about what you provide, it's about how you make others feel just by being yourself. Try it. The next time you're with a friend, your grandchild, or even someone new, resist the urge to jump into, how can I help? And instead think, how can I connect? That one shift can rebuild bridges, deepen relationships, and remind you that you matter, without having to prove it. Now let's explore another shift, one that moves you from waiting to be recognized to recognizing others. It might seem counterintuitive, but one of the most powerful ways to feel valued is to give value first. Think about it. When was the last time you reached out to someone just to say, I'm proud of you, or I've been thinking about you, or even, tell me what's new in your life. I'd love to hear. When we get older, We sometimes fall into this trap of thinking we're on the outside of life, like we're watching everyone else move forward without us. But the truth is, you can still be a source of light, encouragement, and affirmation for the people around you. And when you do that, when you make someone else feel seen, it often comes right back around. Imagine calling a family member or an old friend, not because you need something, but just to say, "Hey, I admire how strong you are," or "I was just remembering that time we laughed so hard at dinner. It made my whole week." That kind of appreciation sticks with people. It builds bonds, and it reminds you that your voice, your memory, your heart, they still count. You don't have to wait for the world to tell you that you matter. You can remind the world that it matters too, and in doing so, you'll feel that mutual value grow naturally. When you lead with kindness, curiosity, and encouragement, you don't have to beg for connection. You create it. And here's something else I want to share, especially if you've ever thought to yourself, "I don't know what I even offer anymore." Let me gently challenge that thought. Because this next shift is about remembering that your story still holds weight. You may not realize it, but the life you've lived, the ups, the downs, the mistakes, the wins, it's a roadmap that someone else desperately needs to see. Whether it's a lesson you learned the hard way, or a simple piece of advice your grandmother once gave you that stuck with you for 50 years, your story has power. You don't have to write a book or give a speech. Just sharing a few words with someone going through something you've already survived, that's a gift. Maybe your grandchild is struggling with something you faced at their age. Maybe your neighbor is dealing with retirement fears and you found peace in your new routine. Maybe someone online is feeling alone, and your comment or message could shift their whole day. Don't underestimate how meaningful your story can be. You don't need to have all the answers. Just being willing to say, "I've been there too," or "Here's what helped me," can give someone else the strength they didn't know they had. Your story is still unfolding, and what you've already lived through isn't just behind you. It's within you, ready to be shared. Let that truth sink in. You are a living library of life. Don't lock the doors, share the chapters, let people in, and watch how much they value what you've lived and how much you start to value it too. So much of feeling needed and valued after retirement is about taking back control of the narrative. It's no longer about being the busiest, the most productive, or even the most helpful. It's about being real, being present, being willing to connect, not because you have something to prove, but because you have so much to give. The world still needs what only you can offer. Your experiences, your time, your care. It's not outdated. It's timeless. And when you begin showing up with presence, appreciation, and openness, people feel it, and they respond. You have more power than you think to change not only how others see you, but how you see yourself. If this message is making you pause, reflect, or even feel a bit more hopeful, then I invite you to subscribe to the channel. You'll find videos here that lift you up, speak to your journey, and remind you that life doesn't stop being beautiful after retirement. In many ways, it's just beginning. We're walking this road together, and you, my friend, are exactly where you need to be. Let's keep going, because this last shift might just be the most freeing one of all. You've reconnected with your passions. You've learned how to connect more deeply with others, and you've started to honor the power of your story. Now it's time to shift from asking, "What am I missing?" to asking, "What can I create?" Retirement isn't the end of your creativity. It's the beginning of a whole new chapter of it. You now have something that most people dream of, but rarely get: time. Time to create. Time to explore. Time to try things not because you have to, but because you want to. This doesn't mean you need to become a painter or write a novel, unless of course you want to. But creation can be so much simpler and more personal than that. It can be starting a garden and watching something grow that wouldn't have existed otherwise. It can be organizing your family photos and writing down little notes so the next generation knows the stories behind each smile. It can be trying a new recipe, picking up a musical instrument, or even learning how to use your phone to make short video diaries. When you create something, anything, you send a quiet but powerful message to yourself and to the world. I am still growing. And here's the most amazing part. When you make things, you don't just feel needed. You feel alive. You wake up with purpose. You start your day with curiosity. And you end it with a feeling of satisfaction that isn't tied to anyone else's approval. It's yours, and yours alone. Some people think the only way to feel valuable is to be needed by someone else, but I want to gently offer you a new way of seeing it. You are valuable because you are still becoming. You're still writing your story, still learning, still shaping the world around you with the choices you make every day. And that is a beautiful, powerful thing. Now, I know that creating something new can feel intimidating at first, especially if it's been a while since you did anything just for you, but you don't need to have it all figured out. Just start small. Take a walk with your camera. Write down one memory from your childhood. Call an old friend and tell them something you've always appreciated about them. These small acts of creation and connection stack up, and they begin to rebuild a sense of value from the inside out. The truth is, the world tries to tell us that our worth comes from our productivity, our busyness, our titles. But none of those things are what truly make a person valuable. You are valuable because you are you. And when you create something, or reach out to someone, or simply sit in quiet gratitude for the life you've lived, you begin to feel that truth again. There's one more thing I want to leave you with today. And it's this: stop waiting for permission to live boldly. You've spent so many years doing what needed to be done, caring for others, working hard, being responsible. But now, this is your moment to say yes to yourself. Yes to that trip. Yes to that class. Yes to dancing in the kitchen or learning something new or wearing whatever you want just because it makes you feel good. You don't need a reason. You don't need to earn it. You've already done enough. Now is the time to be enough, as you are. Feeling needed and valued after retirement doesn't mean going backward. It means stepping forward in a new way, with confidence, clarity, and the courage to create a life that excites you again. You might be surprised how the world starts to reflect your value back to you when you begin showing up like someone who believes in their own worth. And if there's ever a day when you feel forgotten or invisible, let me remind you of this. You have made a difference in ways you may never fully see. You've touched lives. You've overcome struggles. You've given more than you've ever been thanked for. That doesn't disappear just because your work badge is gone or your schedule looks different. You are still that same strong, wise, loving person. And you always will be. So go ahead and claim your space. Fill your days with meaning, not out of obligation, but out of joy. Connect with others. Share your story. Create something that brings you peace. And above all, trust that you still matter, in more ways than you'll ever know. This is your time, not to fade, but to shine differently, to walk with grace and purpose, and to know deep in your bones that being retired doesn't mean being retired from life. In fact, you might just be stepping into the most meaningful years yet. If you found comfort, inspiration, or clarity in today's video, I would love for you to be part of this growing community. Just hit that subscribe button and stay connected. There's more to explore, more to talk about, and so much more to celebrate together. You deserve to feel seen. You deserve to feel heard. And above all, you deserve to feel deeply valued. Because you are. Here's to living your best life at any age, and here's to you,